Hello everyone, welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Himbar, and today I'm doing my weekly update. This is Liam's Leapings number 59 for the 14th of October already in 2023. So I'm just going to go over the things I read this week. I want to try to make it a lot shorter than last week's was, which was quite long. And I'll start off with what I wrote. I didn't really write much. I kind of jotted down some ideas. I did edit my latest story that I wrote. And I'll probably go through again that soon and then find places to submit it. Yeah, so whatever I can do with that. So, excuse me, this week let's see, I have a stack of books over here. So I continued at A Night in the Lonesome October by Roger Zelazny. Just been doing a chapter a day, so I won't finish this one till the end of the month. That's going okay. I mean, probably my least favorite Zelazny book so far. It's fine. I don't know. I don't know. It's not super gripping, and it might be just because I'm reading a chapter a day that I might feel that way. Another book I don't have physically, I guess, is I'm reading The City of Marble and Blood by Howard Andrew Jones. I've read the first 7 chapters. I'm a little over halfway through. I want to read the 8th chapter by the end of today. I'm not sure if that'll happen. So I'm trying to do a chapter a day. I'm one behind. So, but I'm really enjoying it. This one's different. It's mostly in the city as opposed to traveling in the country, like the first book. So, and then another one I don't have physically is New Edge 1. I technically finished this last week. I read it all the week before, but I've read the final review, and my review for that will come out on Tuesday. And the cover was just announced today. It was just revealed today, so I'll put that on my thumbnail. So it came out Friday, I guess, since I'm recording on Friday night. Another book I don't have physically, let's see, Snow Crash. I'm about halfway through Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson. Super awesome. I'm really enjoying it. Really enjoying it. Just like the parody of cyberpunk is just really fun, and also just like the linguistic and historical and like religious stuff I think is really cool. I did just finish the first section of the Big Book of Cyberpunk today. The section is called Style, if I remember correctly. I'll be doing a video on that. I hope that should be coming out Wednesday. I hope I'll be doing that with Tim. So you will get an introduction to Tim's totality. Sorry. So far, I've only gone over one book I finished. Well, let's see what's on the top here. I am reading The Wanderer by Fritz Leiber. This did win a Hugo. It's generally considered to be one of his worst books. He liked it. I remember watching an interview where he says this is one book he was most proud of. I'm not super far in. I'm on like page 70 something. It isn't my favorite Leiber book so far. I thought the very first couple pages were very exhilarating, very I like attention grabbing. So far, it's just, I don't know, maybe slowed down a little bit since then, but I am looking forward to reading more. The last couple days, I haven't been able to read much at all of that. Like I've read maybe 10 pages the last couple days, so maybe I'll get more of reading that after I record this tonight, hopefully. That would be nice. Short stories I read Black Destroyer by A.E. Van Vogt and The Rats in the Walls by H.P. Lovecraft. I think that's it, besides the stuff in the Big Book of Cyberpunk over here. I do feel like, no, I am forgetting something. I forgot to put it in this document. I also read the January 6, 2021 Washington, D.C. riot considered as a Black Friday sale by Pat Cadigan. She was also in this Big Book of Cyberpunk. This is, oh my goodness. I don't remember what the name of this anthology is, but it comes out next week from Titan Books, and it's in almost a Festschrift. They do these anthologies of stories inspired by an author, and it's J.G. Ballard, if I remember correctly. So I got it for the Michael Moorcock story that's in there that I haven't quite read yet. And there's a Lavi Tidar story in there too I'm going to read. But let's see. So I think that's all the books I don't have physically. So I haven't read this one, but this is my one book I got this week. I'm all over the place. I normally, say, oh, here's the books I finished, and here's the books I was reading but didn't finish. I had some credits essentially to use. Had a couple bucks, and so I got the cheapest copy that Amazon had of the Player of Games, and it's almost brand new, which is hilarious to me. It came from a Goodwill, so I'm glad it's in such nice shape. I mean, it would have been okay if it wasn't. I think the read-along is supposed to technically go over this one this month, and the discussion is today, as of when this video comes out. I'm not sure I'll be able to join it. I hope so. We didn't solidify a time, but I got a job interview Uh, Job interviews have been a pain this week. I got a couple more rejections. I went to the second interview for one company, and I was like, they want a second interview. Maybe I'll get it, and I did. Which is a little disappointing. But now that I've been rejected by that company, I really didn't want the job. I wanted the job because I need a job, But like as far as like the actual job itself, it just seemed like bad vibes. Anyways, that's the vibe. I just had bad vibes when I was in the building, essentially. I did read some of Hemispheres by Mark Everglade. I DNF'd this one, actually. This is a DNF. I'm not going to finish this. It's rather short. It's less than 300 pages. It's like far future, further future cyberpunk than you normally have for cyberpunk. And the style of it is just so weird. I heard someone say it's like meditative prose. And while it definitely has moments of like, oh, wow, that's interesting philosophical idea I could think about, it's boring as heck. And whoever wrote this, I feel like, just did not do a good enough job of writing stuff beforehand. I feel like it feels almost unedited in a way. It just was not gripping. It took me 3 days to read like 40 pages. It had some interesting ideas. It's tidally locked planets, so one side's permanently bright and the other side's permanently dark. And on that dark side, they currency is light, and essentially the only form of light that's illegal for some reason are fireflies for whatever reason. So like this terrorist feminist group, whatever, like ecological group wants to make the rotation of the planet faster, so everyone gets a day-night cycle essentially, which is interesting. I thought that sounded cool. It's just so boring. I don't know quite what was wrong with it. I'm not doing like a formalist analysis here, but something about it, like the one character is just boring. He's like typical noir character, but he's not well characterized. Just the way it flows it doesn't really seem to go from A to B. It just is like weird, like ethereal, like you're dreaming almost. And that's not a good thing when you're reading a book. I mean, there's some ways where I can say a book is good when it's dreamlike, like Book of the New Sun or something. You know what I mean? But that's not the case in this book. I'll probably get rid of this. It was just not entertaining, not good. Sorry, Mark Everglade, if you're watching this. I did read The Star King by Jack Vance, though. This is book 1 of 5 in the Demon Princes. It's like sci-fi, kind of surrealistic. Came out in 63, 64, something like that. Spatterlight Press versions have his preferred text as well. There's some really good use of epigraphs. That's really all I'll say about it right now. But I did enjoy it. I did finish The Last Light of the Sun by Guy Gavriel Kay. I also really enjoyed this one. I'll have more thoughts in my review, but I think Kay does a lot of things really well. I mean, was it like a favorite? No. Will he become a favorite author? Maybe. I mean, I could see. I mean, no, I never heard anyone recommend you start with this book, essentially. So I mean, like now, most of those recommendation things are like bogus. I think when people are like, oh, they put like a whole like bunch of that you should start with this book, and I'm just like, you should stop talking. No, it's kind of like, well, because some of it makes sense, you know what I mean. But when they're like, that's like their personality, every time you see them, they're like, oh yeah, you gotta start this book. Anyway, sorry, I'm making fun of people when I shouldn't. I mean, well, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone in particular, right? Just this whole, I don't know, like, because, saying like, oh, you should start this book or that book. It's like, in reality, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to read Fall from the Grey Mouse, sure, Sword Against Death is a good place to start, but Swords and Deviltry is also a good place to start. And you can argue for one or the other, but I'm not going to sit here and say you have to read it this way. And anyways. Then I finished Kill Switch. I had about 100 pages left last week, I think, when I recorded my update. And this is very fun, probably the best of Shepard's Cassandra Kreznov novels, of the first 3, of course. I haven't read the other ones. It has a very explosive ending that reminded me some of his Spiral Wars books to a degree. It kind of dies, like it explodes and then it doesn't climax as it feels like it should be. Now it does climax. It just kind of gets there slower than I'd imagine. He does way better in his Spiral Wars books, which he wrote after these. So, and also was cool news. This is a random piece of news. Spiral Wars book 9 finally got a name and a cover. Maybe it had a name before. I've seen him have a name for the Spiral Wars before, and then come out with a cover later. He said the book should be coming out in early next year. It's called Homecoming, so it's very exciting. If you read the Spiral Wars, like human space is kind of important for the first few books, and then like after that, it's not. It's like very much on the periphery, if it's really there much at all. And so like we could just kind of be getting deeper into this galaxy, deeper into this problem, and Homecoming implies that they might be going home, which is coming anyways. That's the whole point, you know what I mean, is to save humanity. But it's awesome. It's got, I think what's the name of that artist? Stephen Martinier or something like that. It sounds French. Really good cover art. He might have done these. I'm not quite sure actually. But I know he does all the. I know he does. Yeah, Stephen Martinier. So he did do these ones as well. He does all the Spiral Wars ones too, which I'm sure he's not cheap. But I guess Shepard has the money as a self-published author, who I'm sure makes okay money as a self-published author, to get that done. So anyways, I think I mentioned all the books. I'm really excited with all the stuff I've been able to read those. It's very fun reading. Besides that, again, still looking for a job. Some things on that line, which is good. Just a little bit delayed in other things. So I had more interviews this week than I have had since my entire months of looking for a job, which is kind of weird and random, seems like to me. But also Halo's a Halo tournament this week. The Halo tournament's Halo World Championships. If anyone wants to watch that, just go to twitch.tv/Halo. My team won all their matches today, which is good. So we'll see how they do tomorrow when bracket play actually starts. So the important stuff. But anyways, I'm sure no one cares about that. But I'm excited for more stuff. I'm busy. It's weird being busy when I work like nothing. That was actually like I started off my day like pretty poopy, and it ended up even though I didn't read much, because my bosses kind of chewed me out yesterday for something I guess I did wrong, and then I went into work and I get like no hours in a week, right? Or 10 maybe, and just not enough to support a family with the hourly wage I make. And I was expecting to work for not quite 4 hours based off my tasks, or at least that was the longest it was going to take. Probably take less than that. And I got into work today, and they had done like a lot of my tasks, so I got an hour of work, and I was like, wow, okay, that's not a good start to my day. I need to work, and I also like listening to audiobooks when I work. And also, then I got home, and then I had an email saying, "Oh, we didn't select you for this job." And I was like, "Gosh, dang, man." But it's been a fine day, and it's been a good week. Thanks to everyone who joined me for my live stream as well for celebrating 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate that. I didn't plug in my Ethernet cord, so hopefully this video wasn't too bad because I see my connection's not the greatest, and it never is if my Ethernet cord isn't plugged in for some reason. Anyways, I will. I'll try to keep on trying to entertain you as I try to entertain myself and learn. I guess I want to teach a class on Liber. I mentioned that in Discord. I want to just like teach a class, going from some of those earlier works to like later works. I have no clue how I'd run that. Maybe I just make videos on my channel. But what's the point of a class if there's no students? But I'm not a teacher by any means, But like I'm taking this Lovecraft class and kind of go from his earlier works to his later works. I was like, Liber had a much vaster period of creativity than Lovecraft. So you get just like so many good stuff. And Lovecraft, or in Liber, in my opinion, I've said this a few times, he is like the king of speculative fiction because he's just so good at fantasy, sci-fi, and horror. And I believe he had Grandmaster Awards for fantasy and sci-fi, and maybe it was like Grandmaster Awards for horror and sci-fi, and like World Fantasy Award for life achievement or something like that. So and he got a Gandalf Grandmaster Award as well. He's the second person to get one after Tolkien. So yeah, he's like the Grandmaster of all of them, and that doesn't ever happen. You do have some authors who, write in several genres, but Liber did them all really well. So anyways, I'm just rambling now, so I'll just end this, but I'm enjoying reading them kind of in a cyberpunk mood, if you can tell, but enjoying everything. So what have y'all been up to? What have you been reading and